Hello dear students, today's topic is Mendel's law of inheritance. Mendel developed three laws of inheritance. These laws were rediscovered by three scientists, Hugo de Vries, Correns and Zamak, in 1900s independently. These three scientists were botanists. The basic principle of inheritance of character that is established are now equally applicable to all plants and animals including man. So what are the laws that was proposed by Mendel? They are the law of dominance, law of segregation, that you can say purity of gametes, and law of independent assortment. So let's look about all these laws one by one. So let's get started. Law of dominance. Law of dominance states that when two homozygous individuals with one or more sets of contrasting characters are crossed, the F1 hybrids have both the contrasting gene of a pair, but only one expresses and it does not allow the other to appear. The one that is expressed is called the dominant, and the other that remains masked or hidden is called the recessive. The recessive gene expresses only when both the genes, the alleles of a pair, are recessive. The second law is law of segregation. Law of segregation states that in a heterozygous or a hybrid, the two members of the allelic pair remains together without blending. When gametes are formed from the hybrid, the two alleles separate out or segregate out and only one enters each gamete. Suppose we consider the trait tall and dwarf respectively. So in this case, if in the F1 gametes, 50% of the gametes from each parent have dominant trait, that is tall for capital T, and the other 50% have recessive gene small t for dwarf or short. They fuse randomly to produce different combinations, that is capital T, homozygous dominant, capital T, small t, heterozygous dominant, and small t, homozygous recessive. Now, out of these genes in the F1 generation, the plant with capital T, and capital T, small t are all tall, while all small t are dwarf. But only one third tall plants of them are homozygous, that is capital T, and two third are heterozygous with genotype capital T, small t. The tall or short character is their phenotypic nature. The final third law is the law of independent assortment. In the inheritance of two pairs of contrasting characters, the distribution of factors of each pair in the gametes is independent of the distribution of the other pair. It means during gamete formation, segregation pairs of unit or segregating pairs of unit factor assort independent of each other. This is called law of independent assortment of character. In another experiment, Mendel crossed long pea plants having purple flower with a short pea plant having white flowers. All the F1 plants were long and purple flowered plants. When these F1 plants were allowed to have self-pollination, the F2 plants were of the four types in the ratio of 9:3:3:1. So this is about law of independent assortment. When you are learning about genetics, you need to know some common terms used in genetics. What are they? They are as follows. Mendelian trait or simply trait. It is the same as character of an individual whose inheritance is studied. For example, like the plant height, tall and dwarf, these are traits. So height of the plant is a trait. Tallness and dwarfness are the two expressions. Gene or Mendelian factor. It is the basic unit of inheritance for the given character. It is a specific segment of DNA located in the chromosomes. It is passed on from parent to the offsprings. It was named as factor by Mendel. Examples: gene for height, gene for skin color, eye color, etc. Next come allelomorph or allele. Alleles are different forms of a gene. They determine the same character but to a different degree. Alleles occupy the same position in both the homozygous chromosomes of a pair. The next terminology is homozygote and heterozygote. An individual in which both the alleles of a gene are identical is a homozygote, and the condition is called homozygous. A homozygote produces only one type of gamete. For example, pea seeds of yellow color and green color. In case of yellow seeds, we know it is a dominant trait. It may be capital Y or capital Y small y. Both are dominant. But here capital Y is homozygous and capital Y small y is heterozygous. On the other hand, the green seeds which are recessive in trait, they always remain is homozygous condition, that is small y. The next terminology is the genotype. It is a genetic makeup of an individual for a character. Individuals with same genotype have the same phenotype. For example, like the pea plants with tall nature can be genotypically both capital T or capital T small t. While phenotype, it is the external expression of a pair of genes which is seen as a character. Individuals with the same phenotype may or may not have the same genotype. For example, tall and dwarf character of the pea plant are two phenotypic expressions of the height of a pea plant. So dear students, it was all about today's topic about the three laws of Mendel, which are very important when you study genetics, and I have discussed about few of the terminologies which are used when you study genetics. In the next video I will discuss about monohybrid cross and dihybrid cross. There too I will discuss some of the other terminologies which are often used in genetics. Thanks for watching.